Boom, we are live.
Hey, YouTube audience. Boomer and Zoomer here with another episode. This one is going to be a fiery one.
Oh yeah.
Yes, it is. I have been getting fired up about this.
Wait.
And
Before we start, how was your day?
thank you. My day was very nice, actually. Today was a beautiful weather day. Spent some time outside.
Nice.
And had a good day at work. How about you? How was your day?
I was inside for a good portion of the day, from around 7 to 3. I had work, and but after that, I was able to spend some time outside. Went to basketball court with some friends and played basketball for a few hours and enjoyed the nice weather.
Excellent. Good. I hope you had a nice day out there as well.
Now let's jump right into it.
Yeah, we're going to jump into this one because I've been fired up. I don't know why, but I am. A lot of things running through my mind.
Same.
I've been kind of hesitant whether to go with this or not go with this. And decided, I gave it the green light in my mind. And I talked it over with Joe just before we aired here. And we're going to have to go with this one today. This one is going to be...
It could be seen as controversial, but we're doing this because we want all of you to enjoy what we're trying to put out here.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people have some of these issues on their mind. They're very serious issues. There's no joking around here today. There's no... You'll see what I'm talking about once we get into it. We're going to just touch on a lot of different things that have been happening in the world, in the media over a long period of time.
Yep.
A lot of it has to do with major stories in the media. And my thing is this. The more I thought about it, and this is over at least a 3-day period, how time and time again major stories come out in the news, in the media, Joe. I'm thinking of, and then I hear these catchphrases and they stay with me. And it just go back to previous things that come out in the news. Like, stories of, you would think this is a major story, a big scandalous information comes out in the news media about a major figure, a major person who they're putting out all kinds of information that has been found on this person's laptop, and the FBI has had this laptop for over a year, but now the information is being released to the media, and you get little drips and drabs. No names here, no names, very generic. But I'm saying, you hear this information about it, and now you're like, oh my God, that's just the tip of the iceberg. What more do they have? I can't wait to find out. And they tell you investigation is going on, but there's going to be more. So what do we do, Joe?
We wait.
We wait for more information, right? And what do we do then?
Continue to wait.
Wait some more.
And then wait some more.
And what happens? Another major story comes out of an individual and he's another major world player on the scene, and he's involved in all kinds of sex scandals and everything like that. And by the way, the first story, you're still waiting. And nothing comes out. Nothing further comes out. Second story, second person. Same thing, except now this is even more interesting. This person actually gets arrested and goes to jail.
What?
And it's like something right off the pages of the National Enquirer. And then, while he's in jail, something mysteriously happens and he ends up dead.
What?
Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, now you're wondering what's going on.
How did he die? Why did he die?
All kinds of mysterious things surrounded what happened. Camera's not working and all kinds of crazy stuff here. So you're like, oh, this must be big. So the FBI is going to investigate this too. They're going into his apartment. They're going into his private property. They're gonna dig up things he has locked in his vault.
They're gonna talk to people that he knew, or.
And so what do you do? What do you got? What's happening now?
And you wait.
We're waiting.
And waiting.
And waiting.
And waiting.
And waiting.
and we've gotten nothing.
Still zippity doo dah day. Okay? Then you hear things like another major event. And another one. And another one. And another one.
And the same process repeats and repeats.
Over and over and over again. So my purpose for this video is I'd like to find out and bounce it off Joe. That's why we got Boomer Zoomer thing going on here, because I asked Joe before the recording what his thinking process is when he's sitting there and the TV is on and the news flash comes across, a news story comes that's like a major story going on.
And where the same and where that process occurs.
Yeah. So what is your first impact when you're hearing a story and what is going on in your mind? For instance, what was the example I used?
The person that went to jail.
Okay, so you're sitting there and you hear this breaking story of someone you know.
Who went to jail and died.
Well, I'll use something that doesn't even have to do with politics. Kobe Bryant, you're a big basketball fan.
Yeah.
All right, so when you sat there and you heard the story of Kobe Bryant,
all of a sudden died in a helicopter crash.
Right, and they gave you the details. What was going on in your mind?
It was, first of all, it was immediate sadness, also shock. It was like if any person you know that's close to you, even if you don't really know them that well, but someone like Kobe who had such a big impact on the world,
right,
on the basketball world, he was one of the faces of basketball. He's one of the GOATs, or greatest of all time.
Okay, but we all
But like,
understand all that.
There's shock, there's sadness. You want to know
okay,
exactly what's happened.
So you first find out, oh my God, Kobe's dead. That's the first thing that in your mind kind of spins, and you're ringing in your ears, and
and you're like, what happened?
The announcer's still talking. What's the next thing you want to know?
How did he die?
How did he die? What do you want?
The details.
You want the details, okay? Now you start hearing these details, and they sound so bizarre and outrageous. What's the process going on in your head?
Like, is what this news station or whatever, are they telling the truth? Are these verifiable facts? Like, where did they get like, if they just spit out the facts, if they just spit out phrases and whatever, you're thinking, where did they get these facts from? Can they maybe have an interview, like a live talk of someone like who witnessed it, or someone who like worked because it was a helicopter crash, maybe someone who worked with the company or saw them at the...
I thought it was a plane crash.
No, it was a helicopter.
Okay.
Maybe who was with them that
Even
day
more
prior
sketchy.
to it.
My immediate thing would be like, why is he using a helicopter and not a plane?
To go somewhere, to go to a
I know.
basketball game.
Okay, so maybe it's a shorter hop, but okay. All right, there's different reasons. Helicopters are easier to land. Okay, go ahead.
Like, you're wondering why the heck this happened to someone like this when nothing like this happened before. He probably took helicopter rides to everywhere.
Okay.
And to happen to have him killed, his daughter killed, and a couple of other important people that were with them got killed in the crash.
Okay, so you wouldn't just take what you're hearing on that report.
No, I'd want to know
and say that. Oh my God, I got all the details I need. You heard it. Maybe a minute and a half, 2-minute report, and you got all the details about the event. What happened?
Well, here's what I would do. If anything, afterwards, after I hear it, immediately I'm going on the internet and I'm looking for sources, verifiable sources that like could match the same thing that the news story said.
Right.
And if it
and
didn't,
you would listen to other reports from other sources.
And if it didn't, I'd be like, something's going on, something's strange.
And here's the funny thing, because this is what I used to do all the time. I'd hear a major report, and I'd immediately go to another channel and listen to that report. And I would pick up immediately either on a detail that was left out, was different. In other words, the details, either if they're talking about, there was a man witness in one station, another station says, oh no, there were 2 female witnesses. So now, which is true, or are they both true? Or is it a man witness and 2 females? Okay, and why is it contradicting? Why, or sometimes when it's giving numbers or details, or, if it's different on different channels, there's something going on. You want to know why the details are different in different reports. Okay, so that kind of raises a radar, raises a flag to say, hey, what's going on here? And you want to dig deeper, and then you start hearing different reports. All right, so all of this with everything that's going on today, and then you hear other reports of other people's analysis, and you start hearing, like today, a big phrase we hear all the time is the woke
To stay
culture.
Okay. Well, not just the woke culture. It's to quote
Well,
unquote.
it's a culture.
Well,
A group of people that are woke.
It's called
as compared to those that are not woke.
Well,
what does it mean to you?
To stay. Well, the quote itself is to quote unquote stay woke. What woke means is that you're aware of everything that's going on. Like, you don't just take things at face value. You want to know more. You want to know more details. What exactly is going on? Not just, like, oh, you hear word of mouth, like, oh, this happened. You want to know what the heck happened. What are the details? It's like if you watch a movie and you want to know the behind the scenes of maybe how the film was made. You want to know what happened, who was involved, what happened. It's like the credits of a film. You know who was involved, what happened, when it happened, where it was, and everything. You know all the details. That's something that what staying woke means. You know exactly what's going on. You don't just accept things for what someone says.
Right. So what would you call that? How would you explain that?
Well, it means you're kind of thinking critically about what is being said. You're thinking like
critical thinking.
Yeah, well, not just what people are saying. You're thinking like
so
yourself.
So how would you define critical thinking? Because I'll give you my definition.
Well, you go first.
Well, to me, critical thinking is one of the most important things that might be missing in today's society, and possibly because it's not understood. I know in schools and colleges, when you write a paper or you read something, they used to teach critical thinking. Okay.
With papers, yeah.
Yeah, you do your research on a topic. You have to do it with using critical thinking. You can't be all one-sided. You have to consider the other side. Even if you'd agree with it, even if you think that other side is ridiculous, you're still taking into consideration other facts that could have a large influence on the big picture of what you're talking about. So to me, critical thinking is taking all the information and pretty much analyzing it, and it's kind of like pieces of a puzzle. You don't throw a piece out just because you try it in one spot and it doesn't fit, because you know that piece is eventually going to fit in somewhere else. So critical thinking is when you're getting pieces and bits of information on whatever you're doing research on, or whatever the story is, or whatever you're dealing with. You take all the pieces till the very end, and then you decide, like for instance, you take two different puzzles and you mix all the pieces together. Now try putting the puzzle together. Okay, so pieces may not fit in this puzzle. So by the time you get down to the end, your one puzzle's almost done, but the other pieces you're finding out they fit in another puzzle. Okay, so you're figuring out what goes with what story, what goes with the story that you're looking at. Okay, so you're comparing, you're not just taking everything at face value, and that's what I think the Zoomer generation, in my growing up, and from my past, or my background, and I think it may have to do with the way people were in the past. They were more critical. First of all, there was more, I'm going to put it straight out like this, I think people were more truthful back in my day, and even before my day, I'm going to say. Okay, as far as like the media, I'm going to get in trouble here, and if we get kicked off, it's going to be for this reason. But anyway, we're going to roll with it. So you could take some things at face value, not everything. But I've become a critical thinking in everything. I take everything that I hear or deal with, even if I'm talking to someone and they tell me something, I'm critically thinking about, okay, why? First of all, why is this person telling me this? Secondly, could that be everything that this person told me, or is he leaving something out? You know, you see it at work too. Someone will tell you a story about this and this and this, and then another person will come along and tell you the same exact story, but now you have all the other details, and you're like, oh, that makes it look completely different. Know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, critical thinking's a big thing. Big thing.
Is there anything else you want to talk about?
Well, no, this was my big thing for today's. I hope I didn't bum anyone out, but it's just been eating at me.
And it's something that's important to talk about. It's something important to bring up and discuss.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't be afraid to. For anyone out there that might even be doing the same thing as us, like, you shouldn't be, if there's a topic or something you want to bring up or something you even want to post about, you shouldn't be afraid to talk about that topic.
Very true. And for you critical thinkers out there, I want your comments and I want your feedback on this episode. And for you non-critical thinkers, please let us know if you want more information, more clarity, or something you don't understand. Please, also, I'd like your comments even more.
Yep.
I wanted to do a shout out in the beginning, and I completely forgot to do a shout out to Shadow of Fear, who commented to us on our last video. You're awesome. I loved your comment. Give us more.
Give us more. We loved it.
Yeah. So, I don't know. By the way, that's why I got the black shirt, and
because this
it's
is
a serious issue.
I didn't know about this. That's why I'm dressed like this.
Joe didn't know about it. He said he would have wore a different shirt. I told him, don't worry about it.
I was really excited. Once you told me this topic, I was so excited. I was getting fired up too. Like,
yeah.
But thank you all for watching. If you sneeze during this video, bless you. Thank you all for all the comments that you've been leaving, especially for Professor Pete. Thank you for all the comments you've been leaving.
Yeah, Professor Pete.
We will definitely be doing the food video soon.
We didn't forget you.
That'll again at the end of this month, the 30 subscribers. If we hit the 30 subscribers before the end of this month, before April 30th, we will be doing our special. Right now, it's in the works. We're trying to come up with more of the details. We'll get back to more on that soon once we get closer to 30. Anything else, Joe?
No, man. I'm psyched. Sorry if this was a bit of a bummer. We'll try to do
some more fun stuff next time.
We'll go back to the fun stuff. I promise. But this was just eating me. So let me hear your comments.
Thank you all for watching.
Give us your feedback. Thank you very much. We appreciate you. And give us those thumbs up and those subscriptions.
Thank you all for watching, and you have a good night.
Boomer and Zoomer here. Peace out. Bam.